Hi everyone, I am Prachi Agarwal. Welcome to our channel, Learn Competitive Programming with CodeChef. If you are interested in competitive programming and want to learn and master data structures and algorithms, then this is a one-stop destination for you. Every week, we'll post CodeChef problem explanations, conceptual videos on various programming paradigms, and also conduct live problem-solving sessions. But before we actually get started, here's a reminder to hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet already. Great. Now that you have subscribed, let's get started. Welcome back to the course Introduction to Programming. In the previous video, we discussed about what is programming, why do we need programming, and also we discussed that instructions are essential to learning programming. We also discussed a little bit about flowchart, variables, and assignments. Now moving forward, we will see that the example that we took in the previous video, how can we represent that in the form of a flowchart? So in the previous video, the example was that we were taking input for the two numbers and we had to add those two numbers and represent the sum as the output. Now, how can we represent this entire instruction cycle in the form of a flowchart? So this is the flowchart that I am talking about. This is how we represent an instruction cycle in the form of a flowchart. Now, flowchart is a visual representation of the process of giving instructions. So it has some symbols that are fixed, that are used to represent the instructions. Now let us talk about those symbols first and then we will understand the flow. So the first type of symbol is this oval, which marks the starting and the ending of an instruction cycle. As you can see that I have made one symbol at the starting of the flowchart which says start, which means that our instruction cycle has begun, and one is present at the end of the flowchart which says end. It means that our instruction cycle will end here. And these are known as terminators. These are the first kind of symbols used in a flowchart. The second kind of symbols are used for data or input. So you can use a parallelogram for taking inputs. Here we have taken two inputs as numbers and their variable names are A and B. So that is what we write in this box. Say input A, B. That means we are inputting two values. The third type of box is known as the process box or the instruction box. It is a simple rectangular box as you can see, and here we represent whatever instruction or whatever process that is based on the input that is given to us. We represent that task in this box. So here we were supposed to add two numbers A and B and store the answer in another variable sum. So we have written this entire instruction in the process box. And likewise, after performing this instruction, we were also supposed to print the sum or print our answer. So for that, we have again used the similar box because it is a task that needs to be performed. So we have used this box and written here display sum, which means that we will need to print the sum. And you can see that we are not using some kind of fancy programming language in the flowchart. We are using simple English language, like here input, if we had to input two variables, so we have written input A, B. We had to print the sum, so we have simply written display sum, or you could also have written print sum. So flowchart is there for us to understand how to begin to give instructions. It is like a pseudocode. Now, as and when we start using flowcharts for different scenarios, you will be able to understand the flow and the art of giving instructions. Now that I have talked about flow, so flowchart, as the name suggests, also ensures that the correct flow of giving instructions is being followed. For example, here, if I perform this sum equals to A plus B before the input itself, like from start, the arrow suggests that after start, we straight away jump to sum equals to A plus B. So will that make any sense? It will not make any sense because we don't have A and B and we are trying to use that. So that is not possible. We have to maintain the flow. Like first the instruction cycle will start. Then we will take the input, then we will perform the tasks as required, and then we will give the output, and then it will be end of the instruction cycle. So this flow is maintained by using these arrows in the flowchart. Now here in the process box, you can see sum equals to a plus b. This is also known as an expression. An expression is a combination of variables, constants, and operators in order to compute a new value. The operators that we use here are addition, like subtraction, and multiplication or division. These are some of the operators that we have used. These are binary operators. That means they require two values in order to get evaluated. And we can use constant with these operators, or we can also use variables with these operators. And when we evaluate them, then we will always get a new value in return. Like suppose, for example, if we add these two, 24 plus 5, then we will get the value as 29, which is a new value. Here, if we have the value of a, this is a variable, capital A, and if we have the value of this variable, capital A, like for example, I am saying that the value of this capital A is equals to, suppose 10. So 10 minus 9 will be equals to 1. So 1 will be the new value of this expression. So what are expressions? Expressions are mathematical constructs using which we can compute a new value. Now here I have introduced to you with operators. So let us talk more about operators. An operator is a symbol that tells what function is to be performed. So suppose that our operator is a plus operator. So it tells us that addition has to be performed. Now this is predefined already. So there are 5 types of arithmetic operators that we have, and those operators are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Now the first 4 operators you are already familiar with, I hope, because everybody has studied mathematics. But maybe modulus operator is a new one for you. So what does modulus operator mean? Modulus operator means that we find out the remainder of the two numbers. Like suppose if 10 divided by 2 is equals to 5, then 10 modulus 2 will be equals to 0. The quotient of 10 divided by 2 is 5. This is the quotient. So the division operator calculates the quotient, and the modulus operator calculates the remainder of that division. This is the difference between the division and the modulus operator. So these operators are used in order to evaluate the expressions. Now there is also a certain precedence which is used when we are evaluating the expression. What is the meaning of precedence? Let's have a look at this expression, a plus b into c minus d. Now this expression has multiple operators, right? It has 3 operators. But do you think that you can evaluate it from left to right and still get the correct answer? No. We have certain operators which have a higher precedence. That means that they are to be evaluated first, and some other operators which have lower precedence which are to be evaluated afterwards. So here, according to the precedence, first multiplication should be evaluated, and after that the addition and subtraction. So the precedence of these operators are: the higher precedence is of the multiplication, division, and modulus operator. So if these 3 operators are present in an expression together, then you will evaluate them from left to right. All these 3 operators have the same precedence. Then after this, the lower precedence operators are addition and subtraction. So if addition and subtraction is present together in an expression, then also you will evaluate it from left to right. But if both of these category of operators are present in an expression, then first this category of operators will be evaluated. After this, the second category of operators will be evaluated. Now there is one more thing you must also have studied in mathematics that there is also a concept of brackets that we use, and brackets have the highest precedence. So if an expression is written in this bracket, then it will have the highest precedence, and first this bracket will be evaluated, and after this all the other operators or all the other values that are given there will be taken care of. So the highest precedence is of this bracket, then this bracket, and then the square bracket. So this is how we follow the order of using the brackets. Now I hope that operator precedence is clear to you. Now we will also take some examples so that this procedure of evaluation can be even more clear to you. Now, based on the values of A, B, C and D given to us, we will try to solve these expressions, and we will have to keep in mind the operator precedence that we have just discussed. Now, let us look at the first expression. Here we have addition, subtraction and multiplication. Multiplication has the higher precedence. So first we will need to solve this expression. So A plus B minus C into D is 3 into 4, which is 12. So A plus B minus 12. Now addition and subtraction is present. Addition and subtraction have the same precedence. So we solve this from left to right. Let us write down the values of A and B. A is 2 and B is 5. So after we solve this expression, we will get 5 plus 2, 7 minus 12, and 7 minus 12 will be equals to minus 5. So this will be our answer. Now let us move on to the second expression. So let us write down first the values of A, C and D. So here the values of A is given as 2, then for C we have 3 divided by D, which is 4. Now here we have a bracket and also we have the division operator. Now you know the highest precedence is of the division operator, but we also know that if a bracket is present in an expression, then it is given the highest precedence. So it is solved first. So we have a bracket here. So we will be solving this first. 2 plus 3 is equals to 5 and 5 divided by 4. So 5 divided by 4 will be equals to 1.25. So this will be our answer. Let us have a look at some more expressions. Now in the third expression, we have all the three modulus, multiplication and division, which have the same precedence, all of these three operators together. So we will solve this from left to right. Let us write down the values. B is 5, modulus A is 2, into C 8 divided by 4. Now 5 modulus 2 will give us 1 into 8 divided by 4. 1 into 8 will give us 8 divided by 4, and 8 divided by 4 is equals to 2. So 2 is our answer. Now the fourth expression, I leave it for you to solve yourself. I hope you have understood that how we use precedence to solve these expressions. To give you a little bit of hint, first you will solve these brackets, also keeping in mind the arithmetic operator precedence, and then you will solve these outside values. And the answer to this you can find in the description box below. So do try it yourself. Now, as you may have noticed up till now that I am also using the assignment in order to form arithmetic operations. Like for example, if the arithmetic operation is A plus B, then I am using the assignment to store it in some other variable, like suppose sum. So up till now I was using the assignment to store this particular expression value into a new variable. But now we will discuss a very different kind of scenario. We will use the same variable on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. That means an expression of this kind. Now this is a very special expression. This is not a valid equation in terms of mathematics. But here in programming, we can use these kind of expressions. Now what does these kind of expressions mean? So here we will be using the initial value of A to make an update in this particular variable only, that is variable A. Now these kind of scenarios can be used in incrementing a value of a variable, or if we want to decrement a value of a variable, then we can use these kind of constructs. So here what will happen is that initially the value of a variable a is 2. So we can use this value of variable a on the right hand side. That is a is 2 plus 1. Then we will solve this expression. When we solve this expression, it will come out to be 2 plus 1, 3. Now this new value 3 will be assigned to a. Now you might say that a was already 2. How can it be assigned another value? So what is the problem? A was initially 2. The value of a was used and a new value was evaluated. Now this newly evaluated value will again in turn be stored in the variable a. So this is how this expression works. Now why is this working in this manner? It is because when we have assignment operator, then in that case we try to solve it from right to left. Means we move in this manner when we solve an expression which contains assignment. So first we solve the right hand side expression, and whatever value comes on the right hand side, whatever answer we get on the right hand side, we store it on the left hand side variable. No matter what is the variable on the left hand side, that does not matter. Let us take another example as b equals to b minus a. Now here again you can see that we have b and b on both left hand side as well as on the right hand side. And let us take the value of b as suppose 3. So we will try to solve this expression moving from right hand side to left hand side. So first we will solve the expression that is present on the right hand side, that is b minus a. So the value of b is 3 and the value of a is 2. So 3 minus 2 is equals to 1. And this value 1 will be stored in b. So the newly evaluated value of b will be 1. This is the updated value. Now if we use b somewhere else in any other expression, then this newly updated value of b will be used, because this value is no longer valid. It was used and a newly evaluated value of b, that is 1, was stored in it. So this is how these special kind of expressions work. We will be using them in the later parts of the video, so please do remember this. So now that we have learned something new, that is arithmetic operators, let us try to solve a question based on it and represent that instruction cycle in the form of a flowchart. So our question is that we need to input the marks of 3 subjects out of 100 and print the sum and average. So let us take the marks to be A, B and C. These are the variable names we have chosen for the 3 subjects for which the marks will be input by us. And we need to find out the sum and average. So the sum will be, it's very simple, A plus B plus C. That will be the sum of the 3 subjects. Now what will be the average? The average will be the sum of the 3 subjects divided by 3. This will be the average. Now let us represent this in the form of a flowchart. So start marks the beginning of the flowchart. Then we are supposed to input 3 subject scores A, B and C. So we have written input A, B, C, and we have used a parallelogram which is specifically used when we are taking input for some value. Then we need to find out the sum of the 3 subjects, because without the sum we cannot find the average. So we have written the sum expression in this process box. Sum equals to A plus B plus C. So the sum of the subjects is stored in the variable which is known as sum. Now we will find the average. So for average, I have used the variable name as AVG, which is a short form of average, and the expression I have used here for average will be sum divided by 3. The sum of the 3 subjects divided by the number of subjects. Now that we have sum and average, we can simply print or display it. So in the last process box, I have written display sum and average. and that marks the end of our instruction cycle. So there is an oval shaped symbol which says end. So this is how we represent a flowchart for any particular question. Now for you to practice, I have some questions ready for you. I hope that it will be helpful in understanding how to make the flow of these questions and how to represent them in a flowchart. So these are some of the questions that I have prepared for you for your practice. The first question is that you have to input the values of x, y and z. These are three values. Just like in the previous case, we had to input the values for three subjects and then evaluate this expression x plus y into z divided by x. So this is the expression that you will put in the process box as the evaluation, and you will store this expression value in another variable so that you have the answer that you can print in another process box. Now the second question is about swapping of numbers. You have to input two numbers and swap them and then print their values after swapping. So just think about it, that how you can perform these swap of values. It can be done mathematically, so think about it, and if you are not able to solve it, then of course you will have the answer in the description box which you can refer. In the third question, you are given the MRP as 20,000 and the discount on MRP you are given as 20%. You have to form an expression of the selling price after doing the discount. So here you see that you are not given any input that you have to take. That is, you do not have to take input in the form of a variable that like we were taking like this, input A or B or something like this. So this is not to be done in this question. You just have to directly form your expression and put it in a process box and just print it. So for printing it, you will have to store your expression in a variable. So please do this question as well, and if you are not able to understand anything, then please look in the description box. All the details and all the answers will be given there. And if you have any kind of problem or you want to ask anything, then please post it in the comment section below.